13-year-old and 11-year-old. I kind of have maybe some questions instead of comments, but maybe a little of both. My first question is, it seems like, I guess my first question is, why is a sudden push for this? Is it a bus issue? Is it a bus life issue? It just seems like all of a sudden now we're talking about this. I agree with what the one lady said about the questionnaire. Again, love slides and data, but 40 students or whatever it was, that is almost, it's a little insulting as a parent to look up and say, oh great, HSE put together this slide, and it means absolutely nothing. I don't remember being asked in a questionnaire, and maybe if I was, it was a few years ago. I wasn't asked recently. As far as, I think one of the gals said that something's going to be on the website and we can go and we can make comments. Is there going to be a sky alert going out about that so that other people, other than the people that are in this room, will know about this? Because again, I hate to say this, but sometimes it's kind of how HSE rolls. They like to do this kind of backdoor, sneaky kind of thing. They are getting community input, and there's maybe 200 of us here, but there's comment. I just would like to see that go out in a sky alert at least. One of my other thoughts is just looking at these. I like to come up with an option. So I'm looking at these options, and I'm just wondering, unless I've missed something, is it possible for option B, instead of a high school starting at the 8:55, to have them switch with the elementary students? I didn't see that as any of the options on here. So basically, it's kind of a give and take. It's giving a little bit of push to the start time, but it's not a complete ripping of the Band-Aid off, if you will. So 7:50 start time, it's basically option B, but just flipping the elementary and the high school students. Because I think maybe option D looked like it was maybe too drastic, if that makes any sense. I've been involved in a lot of different things, whether it be redistricting or what have you, curriculum, etc., etc. I get a little disheartened sometimes where I feel like I stand up here and I say a bunch of speeches and I feel either you guys are jotting notes down or nobody's really recording what we are saying, and then it goes back to the board making a decision, and yet we kind of feel like we weren't heard. And that gets really frustrating. So I understand the medical research, kids need to get to sleep more often. The medical research also says that they shouldn't have social media and screen times, right? And yet we allow those in classrooms, if I'm correct. So why are we picking and choose which options of medical research we're going to follow? If we're going to start following what the academies recommend, we need to start following all of it, I would think. I've got kids that do sports, arts, violin, viola, you name it. We run the gamut, we run around with our heads cut off, and yet my kids are still in bed at 10 o'clock every night. They don't have their cell phones out when they're doing homework, and we don't have them allow their cell phones in their bedroom. So maybe it might be time for all of us to do a little hard and fast, old school parenting and say, go to bed. I just want to leave you with one thought. My 8th grader said to me tonight, as we were driving from Carmel back here, as I dropped my other daughter off at dance, and I was driving my other daughter back from tennis, and she said, Mommy, get home to drop me off so you can get to that meeting so you can voice your opinion of what we need. Because she said, if I would have been on a flip schedule, I would have gotten out of school an hour ago. An hour ago. And she already had her hour and a half of tennis done. She's going home to finish doing her homework, and she's going to be in bed. So please do something more than just take some notes. Really, really listen to us. And again, we're available for any time anybody wants to talk to us on separate meetings. It's not like we're hiding in a corner. The community wants to participate. So please let us.
I have a 10th grader, a 6th grader, and a preschool so I also have kids across the preschool who will be in kindergarten next year. A couple things I want to say. If you have not read the sleep study that was done when the Twin Cities implemented this change, and they did with 9,000 kids, and they used wearables to track their actual sleep patterns, highly recommend it. It's a great study. It has a lot of rich data and huge numbers, and they found these kids did get more sleep. They did not stay up later. Not self-reported, actual tracking of their sleep. And I think that it's valuable to take a look at that. A couple of people have talked about bedtime, and I think bedtimes are important. My teenager is in bed at 10 o'clock every night. She does not get enough sleep as it is. At 10 o'clock, she cannot get 8.5 hours of sleep and time to get up and get on the bus the next morning. Our start times and our bus pickup times for high schoolers are inappropriate for them. That doesn't mean that the solution has to be that elementary kids go earlier. I'm fine with that. I was in Lawrence Township when that's what happened, and my 10th grader was in elementary school. And I was a working parent. We were a 2 working parent family, and it actually worked out great for us because we didn't have to worry about before care. We only had to pay for aftercare, and it actually was a net decrease in cost for us, not an increase. So it can work out if you make sure to take care of those details. I also want to say that at the end of the day, this is a hard decision for all of you guys to make when you make a recommendation when the school board votes. And Fishers has really put an emphasis on mental health in our community, and continuing to make these high schoolers get on the bus before 7 o'clock is so detrimental to their health and well-being, and I really hope that we can do something to fix that.
Hello, my name is Heidi Kelly. I'm a parent of 2, but also a mental health provider in the city. And it's just hard, you know. There's a lot of our kids. I see a lot of, maybe some of you are mine are here now. There's no kids, but some of mine are here. But they are struggling, and their moods are bad. And my mood was real bad when my babies were born, right? How many moms with 0 sleep, and my mood was the first thing to tank because I was really tired. And I don't know that there's one perfect, awesome answer. I think they're going to be tired no matter what, because I follow a lot of my kiddos that are here and at Fishers, right into IU and right into Purdue and right into Ball State, and we're still tracking and still working on it. I think setting boundaries for them is really good. That 11:59, whoever said that would be awesome, because they're going to follow what we put in place, right? So, well, sort of, maybe. But at least they have boundaries. So they're going to follow it up till 11:59. But if that's moved back earlier and earlier, we say, you know, you have until 8 p.m., they figure out a way to get it wrapped up. But yes, I know that sleep is an issue. I was just also sitting there thinking that we're all here and we all love these kids and we're all really passionate about this no matter what the right answer is. But I'm willing to help and support in whatever we can do to help support each other, because it's really hard to raise kids. It's really hard to do a good job at it. I feel like we're constantly doing it wrong and constantly apologizing to my kids saying, I really know what I'm doing, but I'm going to try better next time. So again, I don't know if there's one best answer, but let's do a good job. We've done so much better over the last 2 years to promote mental health, to promote awareness of this. We have too high a rate of suicidal ideation, and I hate it. And I know sleep is not the only answer. I know it's a big part of it. I know that will help improve their moods. I know the screen time will. I know, you know what they need? Us to do this with them and say, tell me more about how you feel about that. And this is hard, and I'm really sorry you're going through this. And maybe there isn't one right answer, but we'll sit with you and we'll try to figure something out. So whatever we can do together to support each other, let's do that, and then let's try to support them the best that we can. So thanks so much.
Hi, I'm Deb Satterfield. No one text my husband that I'm up here speaking because he would die. I want to start by saying, and I have kiddos all over the place, and a husband who teaches, and I taught myself for 18 years. I think more of us would probably be a little more open-minded and a little less apt to hit the panic button if we thought that research showed that there are great gaps between us and school districts anywhere that are on a different schedule. I guess we'd like to see there to be a cause and then the effect, not just let's try this to try this. So I happened to teach a long time ago on a flipped schedule, and I'll be honest, kids were tired, kids were overwhelmed, parents were tired, parents were overwhelmed. So like many of you have said, I'm not real sure exactly what the answer is. I'm just not sure there's a gap that shows us that moving to this is the reason to do it, and that we probably would have liked to have seen there be some sort of cause before that happened. My son was one of the ones chosen randomly to sit down and chit-chat, and we had a great conversation about that. I don't think it was a large enough panel, right? Like, my son is not an expert in anything other than just himself. And he's amazing at that, but I would like to say, in the last couple of years, we celebrated 50 years of phenomenal education at Hamilton Southeastern Schools. I think we have a study in place, and I have alumni who graduated from HSE High School to prove that the times we're on are doing our kiddos a real service. Some of those alumni, and many of you are them, or you raised them, you graduated them and sent them off, they're phenomenal people. And if you really start doing the math, again, don't text Brian that even said that, but we're probably at, what, 30,000 plus so alumni. I think that's the study that we start with. And we look at our own kiddos and what they've been able to do, and that their lives weren't somehow in a detrimental way affected because of the time that they went to school. Thank you.
Good evening, I'm Gabrielle Hendricks Parker. I have a 12-year-old son here at Riverside. This is his first year here in the school district. Last year he was at Geist Montessori Academy. He'd been there ever since he was in preschool. He was amazing in math, especially he was really a gifted child. To the point that the teachers at GMA recommended that he attend the Ball State special summer camp for kids gifted in math, which he did. So when it came to transitioning to Riverside, I went to see Mr. Graves, and I really advocated for my child to go to advanced math, which my child was begging me to not have him redo algebra once again. So that's what we did. Except that Riverside starts about an hour earlier than GMA. And it's been a struggle every morning to get my child up. He's about my size, so it's really hard for me to just like physically move him. And it's like we start at 6, and at 6:10, and at 6:20, and at 6:30, and at 6:40, and at 6:45, my child finally wakes up. He's angry, he's in tears. He's saying, "Mom, why did you not wake me up earlier?" And I don't know what to tell him other than, obviously, he's in bed like all of your children by 9:45 asleep, because we make sure of it. We have a sleep tracker on him. I know he sleeps, he's not getting his hours. And as a result, he's getting D- in math, which is supposed to be his main thing. He's getting like bad grades everywhere, and I guarantee this is the only thing that has changed since last year. So I really applaud this initiative. I think it's good for the community and for all our kids. Thank you.
I'm Sharon Wright, and by the time this would possibly come around, all of my kids will be in the same bucket. So they'll be in junior high and high school. But I just have a question, and it really is for Dr. Bohr. I'm the PTO president in a couple of schools, and so I have bi-monthly meetings with Dr. Bohr. A lot of us PTO representatives do. It's called the Superintendent Advisory Council. And one thing I did not see up there that I was surprised about is there was a lot of talk, mainly from Dr. Combs, about with this possible flip, that
the learning block in the morning for elementary students is not as disruptive as it is now. And that what she had said is that elementary students are most alert in the morning. They're not getting to school until close to 9 by the time they get started. And in some schools, they're starting lunch an hour and 45 minutes later, and we've disrupted their learning clock. So I was surprised why that wasn't up there, and I'm just curious. So just a comment.
Just a couple other things that I wanted to mention, and by the way, because everyone's went, I don't want anyone to feel like I'm attacking you. If I say something counter to you, it's not personal. Like personally speaking, like when I'm thinking about the after-school activities and things, another thing that I don't think is taken into consideration is family mealtime. Because family mealtime is tied directly to student success. They show that when families eat together, students are more successful in a lot of things. Currently, my daughter does robots at Riverside. I do it with her. We're there until 5. If the start time gets pushed back, we're there until 6. Meaning we're not home until 6:30. By the time we eat, we're shoveling it down, trying to do homework and other things. She's not getting to bed until later. And that would be the case with mini sports and things like that that's been mentioned. Another thing that I kept hearing was mental health, and I'm a huge proponent of that. Obviously, everyone is. There's a book called Generation Z by Tim Elmore. If you have not read it and you're in this room, you should. It's a fantastic book. In the book, he says that one of the reasons that our students struggle most with mental health is because we have a tendency as parents to, we've gone past helicoptering and we're now snowplowing, meaning that we remove every single obstacle in our students' way, and so they have no chance to take risks and then feel the reward of the risk or the pain of the risk. And I'm not accusing any parents here of that. I know there's a lot of things that go on with it. But I worry that as we look at a school district, as we look at more ways to remove risk from our students' life and more things, that we continue to perpetuate that. The other thing that he says is that our students do best when they are serving the world and using their skills to do it. And again, I'm not trying to knock teachers. We have some great teachers in HSE. But what I feel like this is like an artificial method to increase engagement in the classroom, as opposed to actually allowing teachers to teach the way that like they would like to actually increase student engagement. Our Red for Ed Day, I was down there, and I felt like one of the big things like that was like over and over again mentioned was we're tired of like standardizing our students and teaching our students basic stuff. And I would love to see HSE be the kind of district that kind of says, you know what, screw it, we're done with all the tests, like, got to do a couple, but like, let our teachers teach in a way that empowers our students. And then you'll see the engagement go up. And I don't feel like they have a chance to do that with the things going on. And so, I feel like this is a cheap fix to a bigger problem. And so I would like to see us. And then from a lot of people, what a lot of people have said, 94% of our students doing homework long hours of the night. I am a high school teacher. I get that there's homework, but I guess I'd start asking the question, like, what's the quality of the homework? Is it busy work at this point, or is it not? Because I'd be willing to bet that the sleep is a minor. You said only 10% of students felt stressed because of sleep. So it looks to me like the sleep is a minor thing. We have a lot of other things going on in place that are probably bigger concerns that we need to be looking at. I feel like we're putting a lot of effort into a simple fix when there's probably more complex fixes that we need to be looking at that actually require like real change instead of fake change. That's everything I have to say.
Hello, my name is Phil Cooper. I have 2 kids here at in the school district, one at Sand Creek and one also here at Hampton Southeastern School here. They're A&B students. They're very, very smart. And my main concern is this, safety. When we moved into the district, we worry about how long my daughter's going to be home, 2 years old, is going to be home late. how long she's going to be there by herself. Because I work out of the city, my wife works out of the city. Right now, my son, he's here in 10th grade. He'll be here about 15 minutes after she gets off the bus. We feel really comfortable about that. Now, if you flip the times, I feel like she's going to be there by herself longer. I know you guys do a great job of keeping our kids safe here at school. Just a fantastic job. And I appreciate the police department. I am with public safety. I am a firefighter out of this county. And I was very, very concerned about that, how long she's going to be there by herself. And also, these studies, I was raised up on old school, where we tell our kids bedtime, 10 o'clock. She's headed that way. My son, sometimes he's up late, sometimes 12 o'clock, 12:30 doing his study because he has to get his work done. And he still gets about 5, 6 hours sleep. I don't know how he does it, but he still does it because he does sports here too. I don't know how he does it, but he's a dedicated. But I just believe in hard discipline. When I tell my kids to be in bed, cell phones go off. When I tell my kids to do this, they do it. But I was brought up under the old system where our parents said, you do it, you do it. There was no talk back. But I'm just worried about the city and my daughter being there that long. I think you guys do a great job here. I'm so proud of HSE and what the superintendent and what the board and stuff has done. And like I said, you keep our kids safe. And also, studies. Sometimes I feel like studies just need to go out the door. Why do we have to follow a study all the time? Now, we got a brain. Use it. That's how we personally feel about it. And one more closing thing, got 5 seconds, is this. Like I said, I was brought from under the old school, and I just feel like I'm just worried about my safety of my student once she gets off that bus. And also, when did the school start telling me how to run my household? When to tell my kids how much sleep to get? That's my responsibility. That's the parent's responsibility. When she gets off that bus, it's my responsibility. And I take control of that. Tell your kids, keep the phone off, turn the phone off, go to bed, do your homework. That's what we do at my household. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time.
We're near one more. Come on up. Come on up.
As well by saying I don't like ruffling feathers as a leader. I represent teachers, and so everything that was said, I appreciate being here tonight and giving me time for that. I just, as a teacher, I feel like it's really important to say that I go to school every single day. I don't call it work. I really enjoy working with your kids, and as parents of our kids, thank you for giving us the opportunity to work with your children. As a result, teachers in our district and teachers all over the state and just teachers in general, we love our job so much that we do go above and beyond, and we don't think of it as work. And so we are very involved in things outside of the classroom and inside the classroom. And my biggest concern is just how much, as a parent as well, I'm probably going to have to give up for your children because I do care about my own children. And I'm going to lose time at home when they flip the schedule. And as a result, I'm probably going to quit coaching. And I'm not turning in my resignation. I haven't made those decisions. We don't know what's going on. But it's just, it's a perspective that I want to bring up. And as I speak with my colleagues, there's so many things out on the table right now that we're considering because we are parents as well. But we love working with your kids. And part of getting to do that is having to value our at-home time and weigh that against working with your children. And if we flip that schedule, I'm very concerned with what that's going to do for our personal families that get to work with your kids. So thank you for listening.
I would like to thank all of you for your comments tonight. And there were so many questions, and we have recorded all of your questions. We've taken notes too, but we have recorded all of the questions. And so what I would encourage you to do is to check our website, because what we'll do is address all the questions. I don't know that we'll have the answers that you're looking for, but we will be addressing those. There are no recommendations at this time, one way or the other, for this issue. Continue to watch and follow. One of the questions that was raised tonight was, why is it now that we're doing this? And I was trying to, in my mind, answer that question because, quite honestly, in my very first few months on the job, which was now more than about 5 years ago, a set of Riverside students came to us. I believe they were 6th graders, and they came to the board members, they came to one of our board meetings and presented research very similar to this, asking us why we have not flipped our times, because the research is replete with evidence that says we should be doing that. So we haven't done it. I think the answer why it's an issue right now is that other districts around us are doing that, and we are continuously being questioned as to our position on that. So we're trying to determine what our position will be. Many of you on both sides of the question have leveled some wonderful points that will be considered. We have some board members in the audience tonight who have heard this firsthand and will be talking more about it at subsequent board meetings. Continue to watch. We live stream our meetings now, so you can watch in real time how the conversations go, and watch our website because we'll try to post new issues or facets of that. We would like to try to make, if we're going to do any flipping of the schedules, we need to do that no later than January or February, if we're going to do it. So the time frame is a few weeks, several weeks. So be watching. Again, thank you for coming out tonight. We appreciate that. Emily, they will be able to, we'll be posting their questions probably in the next couple days. Watch what your questions are and how we address those. Yes. The slides that I presented will be available. In fact, I think they may be on there now. Not yet. They will be. Yes, they will be. Thank you very much. I'll be around if you have more questions.